If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
On the beat.
All right, how we doing, Lagos? I keep mentioning the city, so let me start. Accra, Abidjan, Joburg, Cairo. Everybody, how you guys doing this afternoon? What's up, Africa? It's Tommy Wale on the African Millennials Show. Never left. I'm still here. I'm still going to be here for a very long time. And it's a very, very interesting Friday afternoon in Lagos, actually. Traffic everywhere. And this is some of the things we face, especially guys who are in business or have to go to work and everything. It could be crazy sometimes. But in the midst of all of that, I'm happy that my guest is in the studio today. I mean, we've known each other on Instagram for some time now, liking each other's pictures, commenting and things like that. Took it to Twitter, have a couple of banters about Manchester United. Chelsea, sorry. Okay. And then he's a very interesting person. He texted me one day, dude, I have to be on a radio show. I was like, okay, I'll look at this. And then a need arose and I was like, okay, man, I think I need you right now on the radio show. So let me just give a brief introduction about him. He's a graduate of microbiology from Bowen University, licensed HR practitioner and associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. His 7-year professional HR career has taken him from utilities to consulting and now in the power sector. So if there's no light, no problem. So he currently functions as a learning and curriculum development supervisor at one of the power utilities establishments. The last episode had a very interesting person in HR who talked about the value of millennials in the workplace and the fact that organizations right now should start looking at millennials being in core decision processes. And today, this person, I just read his profile, whose name is, drumroll, Adetoyeshe Badmus, is a millennial himself and has had experiences in nature. So he's going to be going deep into that, and most especially talking about the culture of work and how millennials should handle it. Toye, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me on here today.
I mean, how's work? How's life? Tell me about it.
Yeah, life has been good. The last 1 year has been very eventful for me.
All right.
I changed jobs and I got married.
Oh, and congratulations.
It's been really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to be here today.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm honored. We are honored. Africa is honored to have you on the African Millennial Show on Africa Business Radio. Right. So the questions I always want to ask anybody that comes, or everybody that's come so far, is from your perspective, right? The reason why this show was created, one of the reasons why the show was created was to talk about the values of millennials, especially in Africa, because understanding millennials right now means you are keen about what's going to be happening in the future, right? Millennials are in their late 30s now. In a decade of days, they'll be in their late 40s, right? So from your perspective, can you just tell us what the value of millennials are, especially African millennials right now?
Yeah, I always say that of all the generations we have right now, Millennials seems to be the most privileged of all of them because they are in touch with the baby boomer generation, and they're also in touch with this computer age generation, the generation Y.
Right.
So I'd like to say we are a blend of both the old times and the new times.
Okay.
And it should put us in good stead to be better leaders because we understand where things are coming from, and then we have a good idea where things are going to. So with our age group, people like to think, when people hear millennials, they think, oh, these young and reckless people. But now we need to understand that millennials are maturing. Like you said, millennials are in their 30s, going to their 40s. These are the people who should be decision makers in whatever industry or whatever facet of life you're looking at now. So the importance of the millennial cannot be overemphasized because basically we are the future of things right now.
Right. So in being the future of things, right, what would you tell a 60-year-old man? Right. What are the things you tell him when it comes to understanding our strength? Or, okay, sir, I think you should rather talk to a 35-year-old man about this matter than talk to a 55-year-old. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, have you had that kind of a scenario before?
I mean,
first of all,
I'd take a live scenario from the team I work in.
Okay.
The head of my team I think he consciously decided to have a lot of young people working with him.
That thing is like a trend now, though.
Yeah, it is because, I mean, at the end of the day, the older people, yes, they have their uses and their benefits, but they have to be phased out somehow. Now, I don't mean that in a derogatory way or in a bad way, but they are in their 60s, and in Nigeria labor law, retirement age is 60. So these people are leaving, and if you do not prepare the younger ones to step into their shoes, you're going to have a disaster on your hands.
Same thing. You guys are same from same field anyways. That's what he said also.
Exactly. So more and more you get millennials being in position where these older people need to come to them to ask for solutions to things. Now, more often than not, they do not understand it because they're used to the hard and fast rules. This is the way you do it, either that way or the highway. But with millennials want to, they want to be flexible. They want to have options. They want to be able to do things in different ways as long as they arrive at the right destination they're going to. For example, the average millennial would rather work from home and take a pay cut than to have to sit in an office cubicle from 9 to 5 every day.
Call that thing gig economy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about delivering. And if I deliver what you've asked me to do, it doesn't matter if I spend 8 hours to do it or I spend 30 minutes to do it. I have given you what you asked me for. Right. And then that creates opportunity for them to be productive in other areas of their lives. Because the average millennial wants self-satisfaction.
Okay.
I mean, it's beyond, I've done my job or I'm getting promoted at work. I can be promoted at work and still not be happy. So the millennial wants to be happy in every area of their life. They want to be able to deliver their job. They want to deliver their family. They want to deliver on their hobbies. And they also want to have time for vacation and all of that.
Yeah.
So if you stick to the hard and fast rule of saying, you sit here morning to night and you don't go anywhere else, you have to sit there whether you have work to do or not, the average millennial is not happy.
Oh, thank you, Toy. I mean, that's a very, very interesting angle to it. You have just told the world what the value of African millennial is from a different perspective, and I like it, especially when you're hammering on being results driven. Right, I want to get this thing done, at least not give it to you, so I don't have to crawl all the way through the traffic. I don't have to be in front of you. You want me to get this done, get it done, so I can have other things to do. And I think it comes from the things that informed our decisions or informed our growth when we started looking at things on the smartphones and started seeing things from different parts of the world. So I can mix this and this. I can be in this place at the same time. I want to talk to someone in Ireland, for example, talk to someone in South Africa, talk to someone in Senegal, talk to someone in Mali, and then I also want to do your job, right? I want to be a global citizen. So I really, really, really appreciate that. Now, there's going to be a very interesting question coming to you. Let's have a short break.
There are 1.8 billion globally. That will make 75% workforce by 2025. they will outpace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers of every conversation. Get more insights on Africa Millennials on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
S Cool on the beat.
Okay, so welcome back, guys. It's a very, very interesting time so far with Toye Badmus.
Yes, Badmus.
Please, I don't want to miss the names. Toye Badmus.
Yeah.
Right. So, Toye, before we continue, what's your social media handle? In case many people want to ask questions from you.
Okay, on Twitter, my handle is Mr. Badmus.
Mr.
That's
Badmus.
Mr.
Okay.
_ Badmus.
So on Twitter, it's at Mr. That's
Mr.
MR Badmus.
No,
Okay.
MISTER.
Okay, MISTER _ Badmus.
Yeah.
Okay. And on Instagram,
It's just Mr. Badmus.
Mr. Badmus. Same MISTER.
Yeah, all
Okay.
lowercase.
Okay, cool. So, Toye, there's this thing, right? This turnaround where this person deliver on the job is too playful, this doesn't even come early to work.
Yeah.
Fire him. Right. I was in classes. I took a course at Austin O'Keefe's Leadership Academy some weeks back, and then one of the men that came to teach us is in his 60s, about to be 60, I think. So he said that there was this youth copper, right, who was working in his friend's firm, and then the youth copper saw his friend drive this interesting SUV, or he drove this interesting SUV into the company. I was like, wow. So I think the copper got carried away and just wrote, in 3 months' time, I'm going to have that kind of an SUV. Now, he went home, he forgot the paper, or the person, I don't know if it's a guy or a lady, forgot the paper on the desk. And then I think the man was just passing by the desk and he saw it, and he fired the person. Yeah. So, okay, you won't have this in 3 months. It says a lot about your orientation about life. Now, the older generation would think, you didn't work that. Now the younger generation think, it's possible, I can have it. And that's one. Now, the question about culture, work culture, right? Things about process, things about what you do at work, things about how you should even do something, things about you not being careless. That person, obviously, I try to balance and okay, this person is thinking you just jump from that point to having this. I don't know what the person wants to do, right? Mm-hmm. There's process, right? Another thing also is, why would you be so careless to write that kind of thing and leave it on your desk? These basic things, do you get what I'm saying? So can you just go fully into what you think about work culture?
About work culture, like I said initially, the millennial is the perfect person in the workplace. And my reason for saying this is this. He's been exposed to the discipline of the baby boomer generation and the technology and free-spirited mindedness of the Generation Y.
Do you mean the older millennial?
Yes. I mean, the millennial is between 80 and late 90s.
Yeah. So the discipline.
Yeah. So give or take about 33 years, 34 years, 35 years. Yeah. I mean, we all grew up at a time when our parents actually disciplined us compared to parenting now. The average millennial is already a parent, if you look at it. So the truth is, it's going to be disingenuous for a millennial to say, oh, I'm in a generation where there are no rules. It doesn't work like that. I mean, in a society where there are no rules just means there's going to be anarchy.
Right.
So it's necessary to have the requisite rules, combine that with your innovation and your golden. So for us to be the leaders of the future that we say we are, we need to take these rules. Yes, sometimes rules can be straitjacketed. It all comes down to us in our innovative nature to say which of these rules will help us get to where we are going to. And then we sort that out. Because leaving people to just their own whims and caprices to say, oh, I'm a millennial, or I'm a Generation Y, or I'm a generation whatever it is, and there are not going to be any kind of there won't be direction, there won't be any kind of law, or there will be no guidelines. It just opens us up to a state of disorganization and degradation.
Absolutely.
So as millennials who right now are sort of carrying the torch from our parents and handing over to the next generation. We should be those ones in the middle who should stand for some sort of order. Because innovation without order is chaos, really.
That's very, very interesting. Like, that's tweetable. Innovation without order. Because that's it. You can just have this thing, but then if you don't have structure or substructure to handle it, there
should be structures around those things. Because I've seen people who say, "Oh, after all, I've delivered your work." Like the example you gave. After all, I've delivered your work. Why do I have to be here? Why do you have to see me? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that you're, how will I put it? I don't want to say you're a subject to the organization. You owe them some sort of allegiance. You owe them some sort of loyalty. And to the extent to which they give you what you want, they also reserve the right to ask some things of you. And if it's something as minute as, say, be at the office at 9,
then be
there at 9, or say, do this thing for me by 2 p.m. And because you've gone off on your own tangent, you don't deliver it by 2 p.m. You're subject to disciplinary issues. On
timing, on time. Okay, sorry. You're subject to disciplinary issues. Straight.
Yes. I mean,
did you hear that? They'll remove 5,000 from your salary.
Let's not go there.
Okay. So now, on timing, right? Can we talk about that a bit? Right? Can we talk about that a bit? 1 o'clock doesn't mean you get there 1 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
It means you get there 12:45.
My father always told me that if you're there at the time you're supposed to be there, then you're late.
Late already. So,
for example, if you're supposed to be somewhere at 1 o'clock and you're there by 1 o'clock, the time it will take you to move from the door to where you're supposed to have whatever it is you're going to do is past 1.
Right.
But if you're there before the time, then you're on time.
So there are people living in Abuja, in Accra, in Dakar, in Joburg, where traffic is not so much. There are people living in Lagos.
Yeah.
Right. What would you say about timing in these things? Can you talk to a Lagos person? That's just going to be like a litmus test for people who want to give an excuse for traffic. Yeah.
For a Lagos person, you understand your environment, and if you are not taking into cognizance the fact that you live in a city where traffic is part and parcel of your life, then you probably you're not very bright. I'm sorry, you're not very bright because
you're dim.
You're supposed to be somewhere at 2 o'clock. On a normal day without traffic, it takes you 20 or 30 minutes to get there. As a Lagosian who knows that a 5-minute delay can translate to 3 hours of traffic.
Absolutely, man.
You need to put all of this into context. For example, I was supposed to be here today for 2 p.m. And I left where I was by 12. On a good day without any traffic, it's a 30 minutes journey at worst.
Yeah.
And at best, a 15-minute drive. But I factored in the fact that, look,
there's
going to be traffic in Lagos. It's Friday. People are probably going to pray. They're way back from prayer, and this is a lunchtime show. So put all of that into perspective. People are leaving their offices to go and have lunch. A whole lot of things are going to cause traffic at this time. So why not just take 2 hours? And it's better to be here 1 hour before the time and be waiting than for the show to start at 2 p.m. and you're not here.
So when it comes to work culture, this is a very, very important thing. You're supposed to send in that mail at 2. Send it at maybe 1 o'clock or something. You're supposed to be at work at 8. Right.
It's I feel like it's simply a question of ethics.
Okay.
People mistake freedom for lack of ethics.
You're saying a lot of things to it. I mean, I'm getting constipated. I'm getting bloated now.
It's the truth. If you have ethics, regardless of your way of life, there is a code you live by to say, I'm supposed to deliver this thing at this time. I've made a deal. Because when you collect that employment letter, it's a contract. And the moment you do something out of that employment letter, it's a breach of contract. And you're subject to whatever litigation comes. So, as millennials, we want to be...
when you use the time subjects, it scares me, man. Sorry.
Okay, I don't intend to be scary.
I mean,
but the truth
subject to it, you can't do anything. Your hands are tied.
It's a covenant, it's a contract, and you signed and said, I agree to do this.
You're subject to it.
So
I know, but
you're
it's
bound.
A very strong word this afternoon. The sun is too much. But I get that.
You're bound to it. So, if you know you want to work somewhere where nobody's going to hold you, then be a consultant. And in the process of
even with that one, you have to keep
exactly,
time.
and even
It's
in the process of doing
think.
whatever it is, you sign a contract that favors you, that you can live by. Because the moment you make an agreement, even by word of mouth, by law, you're bound to keep it. So,
and when you become a consultant, you don't have one boss. So.
Exactly, you have so many bosses, and then that's even more difficult because you have to put different things into your mind. You have to think about this person's time, that person's time, this person's behavior, that person's behavior.
Okay.
I mean,
So
it becomes complex.
Let's have a break. There's a lot, man. Let's have a break.
They are 1.8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insights on African Millennials on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
You're listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Okay. Welcome to 989 Tech Talk. This show is in affiliation with Africa Business Radio, your #1 online radio station. 989 Tech Talk covers all things tech in the agricultural space. My name is Michelle. I am mad about tech. No.
There are 1.8 billion globally. That will make 75% workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers of every conversation. Get more insights on African Millennials on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
That's cool on the beat.
All right, welcome back. How we doing? How we enjoying today's conversation with me this afternoon? It's what I like about it is Toye is dropping these words just in bits, like it's sinking in it, and it's like pouring the warm water now becoming the hot water on the frog chilling in the cold water, and then it's trapping us into being disciplined right now. All right, Toye, I have this thought, right? Or this conversation I'm having with people. So people think they want to intern, right? But they don't want to get the pay, right? People think you shouldn't intern without getting the pay, right? So at the end of the day, exchange of value, right? So can you talk about that? Because for me, when I started working, really, okay, I was in school, and I started working in Lagos. So I was juggling. I was quite an interesting person at the time. So I wasn't getting so much of money, but then the value I was getting from, I was close to the CEO of the place and things. I mean, we would ride together, go to Mega Plaza in the evening, eat, get back to his dining table, work till like 1 a.m., sleep, get back to that dining table at 6 a.m., work. But I wasn't getting so much of money, right? But I was getting value. So to me, I was getting a whole lot more money. Right? I don't know, maybe. I don't know who brought me up. I don't know. Do you get what I'm talking about? Now, there's that thing happening right now. People say, no, I can't work for free. Yes, you shouldn't work for free, actually. But can you maybe touch on knowing what to get out of an internship? Right, so that it just informs anybody's decision on what they demand as value.
I mean, at the end of the day, the word internship itself defines or gives the answer. Interning is learning on the job. So the value you're getting from interning is your learning. So you get money, and that's a bit more. That's an extra on the side.
Okay.
You come to somebody who has the knowledge
Okay.
and you say, look, sir or ma, I want to intern with you.
Okay.
And the reason I'm here is to learn how to do what you do. The person is giving you skills and knowledge in exchange for whatever it is you do for them, your time there and everything. So the real value of internship is in the knowledge. Now, we all know what economics is like. You probably need to go from here to there. You need to eat and whatnot. So if the person decides to give you a stipend to say, oh, just to cover your transport and some expenses, that's fine. But depending on how much you need what is in that person's head, you will find that you would even pay yourself to do that internship.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it comes down to what you regard as value. If what the person who's interning sees money as the person's value, then you probably should go start a business or something, because internship is for learning. But if you then see the value you're getting in knowledge and how much that knowledge will pay you in the long run, then you wouldn't have a problem. The problem with most people now is that instant gratification. You want to be interning and be wearing a shirt of 25,000. You want to be interning and wearing shoes of 40,000. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad with that. If you meet someone who can pay you that money and you can get all those things, perfect. The world is golden. But in a situation where they said, look, I might not be able to pay you so much, or might not pay you at all, but you're going to have hands-on experience in this. Trust me, a serious-minded person would take up that opportunity as against going to intern somewhere where they're sending you to buy coffee or sending you to buy food and paying you so much money.
I'm sorry, let me crack a joke on lawyers. Lawyers, I'm sorry, you all spent 5 years in school, an extra year at law school with NYSC, and then I heard you guys just do photocopies around the office. I'm sorry, learned colleagues. I'm sorry. I heard. I've never been a lawyer before, but I heard. So it's not you guys. Don't.
My lawyer friends, please hit me up and let me know if this is correct.
All right.
But yeah, as I was saying, it depends on what you see as value. If you see the knowledge as value,
right,
then you would sit down and learn.
Right.
But if it's the money that is the value for you, then you go somewhere where you're going to get the money.
Okay, and you must make sure that you bring something to the table.
I mean, some places don't even mind. You can be there just drinking water and drinking juice, and they pay you.
Yeah.
You are shortchanging yourself at the end of the day because you're not learning anything. But someone who's going into work every day, gaining skills every day, even if that person is getting 1,000 per day or 2,000 at the end of the month, trust me, in time, the value that person has will be way more than that person who has been collecting money.
So there's some organizations actually that, bring you in, pay you and things like that, and they also train you. Like KPMG has that,
That's
for
golden.
example.
Yeah, perfect.
So there are some exceptions like that, but then it takes a lot to even get into those kind of organizations.
I mean, you have to display some level of exceptionalism to get into that kind of place.
Absolutely. Now there's this thing, it's on skill and character. Right, so this guy is an aficionado doing this. He can clear this thing right now, but he has a bad character. Now this person that has character but doesn't have the skill. As an HR professional right now, there's so many people listening.
Yeah.
What would you advise them to look out for more? Hiring for skill or hiring for character?
Okay. I'm not going to give you a straight answer to that because I don't think there's a straight answer.
Okay.
Now, for you to get a job, you need a certain amount of skill. And skill alone is not going to get you through.
Okay.
Now, with someone with average level of skill and a very good character, I would hire that person over someone who's highly skilled with a poor character.
Right.
Now, the reason being that skill can be taught. It can be learnt.
That's all.
At the end of the day. But with character, I mean, someone comes to you to work, the person's character is probably already formed. There's little or nothing you can do about the character, except that individual wants to change their character themselves.
Wow. Toye, thank you for this wonderful Friday afternoon. I have learned so much. We have learned so much here. If you want to listen to this again, go on africabusinessradio.com and check out the podcast with Tomiwale and Toye Badmus. It's been an interesting afternoon talking about work culture and millennials. Also, you should take the African Millennial Survey on www.getupinc.com. Take the survey, be part of the African Millennial Report to be published in January. It's been a beautiful time with you guys on the other side, and then me right here, and then the producer, Innocent, Tokwe Samuel, and Emmanuel over here. All right, bye for now. See you on Wednesday. Yeah, bye.
Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.